Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Dental Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Pastorius, and today we are going to talk a little bit about online reviews and how they factor into dentistry, and are they important? Do they matter? Does anybody actually pay attention to those, and how do we know? It's a question that we get here at KickStart Dental Marketing a lot from clients or potential new clients about their reviews and what's the best way to get good reviews, or do they matter at all? So I thought I would address that here in the next few minutes and maybe answer some of those questions for some of you out there that are inquiring. So here's the thing with online reviews. Our agency's been around serving the dental community for over 12 years now. And so we know a little bit about reviews in terms of how they are actually working with dental practices. And every study that I've seen shows that as many as 90% of potential new patients actually look at online reviews before they decide if they're actually going to pick up the phone and call, or fill out a form on your website, or click the text chat button, or even schedule an online appointment right then. So I sometimes refer to online reviews as the silent killer, because you don't know how many people are actually looking at the reviews and then deciding to maybe not call you because of that, right? There's a lot of things in digital marketing that we can track. But that particular aspect of digital marketing is almost impossible to track. So, I think it's important to really build a good online reputation, by getting feedback from your patients. I think it's essential, not just in dentistry, but in today's business culture. So how do you get, customers, or patients, I should say, to leave feedback? And even more important, how do you get them to leave a positive review for you? The coveted 5-star review, if you will. So now you might be tempted to buy into the thought that good patient reviews and reputation management, we call it in the business, are kind of out of your control. It is what it is. Just let it happen organically, right? Well, not so much. I've never been a fan of what I call ostrich marketing, which is kind of putting your head in the sand and just hoping that good things will happen, right? I think we're past that now, and that strategy definitely does not work. And I think that holds true for online reviews as well. I mean, when your practice actually utilizes a structured review system, a way to send out reviews on a consistent basis, there's no doubt that you can drive more new patients and potential new patients to the website itself, and to ultimately schedule an appointment. Now, as a practice owner, where do you begin with encouraging those high quality reviews? How do you motivate the patient to leave a Google review or a Yelp review or on Health Grades? How do you even get them to do a video review for you? Wouldn't that be cool? So that's what I want to talk about here, is how do we do that, and what's the best way to do it? And I'll tell you how we do it as well, and what works well for us, somebody that's in the industry. I will tell you though, before we get into that, I know that there's a ton of platforms out there that, they do reputation marketing, or they do reputation management. Dentrix has it built into their system. There's, tons of Eaglesoft. Everybody has the ability to try to get reviews from your patients. But what I found, and what we found here at KickStart, is that it's not the technology or the platform of actually sending out requests for reviews. It's what you say. It's the content. It's how you theme it. It's when you send it. What's the best time to actually send for that review? And also, what can we do in the office, and not just rely on technology to drive those reviews? So when I talk about online reviews here, I'm not really talking about the technology. There's tons of different ways to do that. We have technology that does that as well. It's more about the content, the personalized touch of getting those reviews. So let's get to it. So what are reviews? What is feedback? How does it help you as a dental practice owner? Well, patient feedback, as we talked about, in my opinion, is one of the lifebloods of the dental practice. I mean, to start, what you need to know is that there's dental reviews online, whether you have anything to do with it or not. And they're largely determined by the patient's overall experience with your practice, right? So the more knowledgeable and thorough that your staff is in delivering great service and a great experience for that patient, means the greater likelihood patients are going to feel compelled to rate that dentist. Now, unfortunately, what we see is that a lot of reviews come from two things. One, they're even they're just over the moon happy from what you've done for them. But secondly, they're really pissed off, and they're more compelled to leave a review when they're pissed off than when they're happy, and that sucks as a business owner. I'm a business owner too. I get it. So it's the patients who have a positive experience with your practice are the ones more compelled to offer good feedback. Duh, right? The thing is that when you can get them to leave you a good review, they automatically turn into kind of a practice advocate for you because they feel loyalty because, hey, I put my brand on this practice, now I'm going to defend it, right? And that makes them more likely to refer friends or family members. So when you have patients actually leaving you positive review, you've turned them into almost a patient ambassador, and they're more likely to actually refer you out. So there's definitely some byproducts of going out and getting good reviews. But on the other side of that, reviews are also a great opportunity to help correct mistakes and further kind of refine your services and how you do things. Because think about it, reviews, if you get a negative review, and everybody does, right? It's going to happen. You shouldn't get defensive about that right off the bat anyway. You need to learn more about it, see what happened. First of all, make sure it's the right person, because we see a lot of people here at KickStart that might leave a bad review for one of our clients, but it actually wasn't our client. They had a similar name to somebody else. And so first of all, make sure it was your patient, okay? And if it's not your patient, do everything you can to reach out to them and say, hey, I think you have the wrong practice. Could you take a look, and if not, please call us, and we want to try to work that out. But so it's, if it is a legit review and it is a negative review, then learn from it. See what the problem is. Offer to reach out. Give a phone number. Write in the review, because think about when you respond to reviews like that, you're not just responding to the person that left a negative review, you're also responding to the people who potentially see those responses, right? So if they see a negative review, they're automatically going to be attracted to see what that was all about, the negative one, and how you responded. So respond to it, say, hey, we want to do everything that we can to try to earn your business back. We apologize for any mistakes. Please call me directly at this number. And let's talk about it and try to make it good for you. And sometimes when you do that and they actually do communicate back with you, you can actually get them to review or remove that review. So that's what the review system's all about. That's some ways that you could potentially respond to any negative reviews. So there's tons of websites out there that allow people to leave reviews about your practice. But I will tell you today that the top two that I would worry about would be Google and Facebook. Now, Google is increasing engagement with the reviews. That, I believe, is the number one platform because people are already using their platform. They're already going to Google first to do a search for dentist near me, cosmetic dentist near me, best dentist in whatever city, right? So that's where they're going to automatically see your first reviews. Okay, number one platform. Number two is Facebook. And unfortunately, Facebook, I think, made a mistake a year or so ago when they changed how they did reviews. They changed their star ratings. So now it's like recommended versus a certain amount of stars, right? But people are still paying attention to Facebook. And guess what? Facebook's about the second biggest used platform on the internet behind Google, right? And then there's Yelp. Okay, that's where I would probably put number three. Let me go on record as saying I do not like Yelp. And I know there's a lot of people probably agreeing me with this. I don't like their business practices. I don't like their advertising campaigns and how they set those up. We've tested multiple paid advertising accounts on Yelp, and we had very few that gave any type of return on investment. Okay, their review system is very strict. You could have 20 patients go and leave you a good, honest review on Yelp, and maybe 2 or 3 or 5 of them would stick. Stick meaning they didn't get filtered out. They have such an aggressive algorithm to try to remove fake reviews that it's turned up too high, and even the good reviews get filtered out and they don't ever show up. So you do all this work to get people to review you, and your patients do all the work to actually leave the review, and then they might go back and the review's not even there, right? So to me, yeah, Yelp, people do look at it, but in my opinion, they look more at Yelp for restaurants and entertainment than they do for actual dental practices. So if it were my practice, I would focus on Google and Facebook, and then if you want to go to like a health grades, that could be a good third option as well. The mistake that I think you can make with reviews is giving them too many options. So if you send them a review request and you say, hey, leave us a review on Google, Yahoo, Yelp, healthgrades, dogpile.com, you give them like 10 different choices, and that just causes confusion, and they're not gonna engage. So they're just goes, oh, I'll do it later, right? Whereas if you give them one or two options, oh, I've already got a Google account, or yeah, I've already got a Facebook account, so it'll be really easy, right? So those are the top review sites that I think that I would recommend using. So, all right, we figured out where we want to get those reviews. Now, how do we encourage positive reviews? So, the average dental patient is pretty darn busy, right? The old saying is with dentistry is people typically don't like to go to the dentist because of time, fear, or money, right? Or maybe all three of those things. But, time is certainly a big part of it. So they're limited with time. So not only do they not even want to go to the dentist, but they don't like how long it takes to go to the dentist. And now you're asking them to take another, 10 minutes or something to leave a review about the dentist, right? So most patients who had a good experience are happy at the thought of leaving a review, but not all of them will do it just from an email or a text message that's sent to them. Sometimes not even, it doesn't even matter how good they're written. So the first piece of advice that I want to give you in terms of getting more positive reviews is, first of all, ask. This should not be, you should not wait for technology to ask for you, right? I know dentists as a kind of a stereotype are a little bit more introverts. Not everyone certainly, but, and asking a patient for a review might seem like I'm crazy for asking you to do that, but it goes a long way because you as a dentist have a personal relationship with that patient. They are looking up to you in terms of their health, just you being a doctor. They really hinge on almost every word that you say. So a lot of our clients, we have actually talked to them before they leave the bay, and they'll say, look, once you're done, you'll probably get an email or a text from us asking you about your experience here today. If you don't mind, it would mean a lot for me if you would, give us some good feedback. That's it. You've set it up. Now they're expecting that email or text message, and somebody of authority has asked them to help you out, and that is going to go a long way to get more reviews. Okay, so if you feel like you can do that, and you don't have to do it for every patient, but just try it out, and I promise you that will work a lot. So another way to cultivate good reviews is to find recurring keywords of online customer reviews or patient reviews about the practice and incorporate those into the content of your website. It's kind of high level. It's something that we do here so that when a patient is searching for a dental practice in your market, your practice is actually more likely to show up on Google. So it's just a way to potentially drive some more of that activity. So use some feedback as well. Use the feedback that you get from online reviews to improve the practice. It's a proven way to create better brand, and if you want to tell me that dentists shouldn't be doing brand marketing, then, you're crazy, because they should be, more than anybody, more than Coca-Cola should, or Pepsi, or any of the huge brands. Because a local brand, if you can actually brand a local brand, it's way more powerful, because people resonate with local much more than they do national brands. So use this feedback to resolve issues and identify what patients love so that you can fix what is wrong and deliver more of what they love. Think about it. As a dental practice, you're not selling dental products and services. You're selling solutions to problems, right? So somebody's in pain. Somebody wants their smile to look prettier, That's what you're in business for. So also engagement, engage with your patients about their experiences by responding to the reviews. Okay, so I see a lot of time. We talked a little bit about not responding to negative reviews and how to do that, but you should be responding also to positive reviews. Okay, it helps at a couple of different things. People are going to see that you're taking the time to respond. It just takes a few seconds per review, so it's not like it's a big time suck, and you could have somebody in the front desk easily do it. Now, don't use the same thanks Bob for the great review every time. Mix it up a little bit, make sure it's unique. Thank them for the business. Just engage with them in any way. It just shows to them it's worth their time to leave you that review. And then it also shows people that don't know you yet, but they're looking at your reviews, that you are actually engaged and you appreciate what they've done. Now, I'll tell you also that you should highlight positive reviews on your website. Everybody does it, right? I do it myself. But just know that when you put positive reviews on your website, they are never going to be as trusted as much as actual text reviews on independent websites. Because what fool would put negative reviews on their own website, right? This kind of makes sense. So, you can feature some reviews on your homepage. Yeah, I like to put pictures next to the reviews. That just spruces them up a little bit. So if you've got some graphic design experience or somebody in the office that can do things like that, then you certainly should try. I like to pretty those reviews up, put an image next to it, and some creative text, and use those as social media posts as well. Those seem to go a long way. There's tools like Canva, C-A-N-V-A, that you can use to spruce up some of those reviews. You can also send people directly to customer surveys. That's a possibility instead of a review. We've tested that, and yeah, you get the surveys back, and that's cool. But then what do you do with the survey? It's not like other people can see those, right? So we typically stay away from the customer surveys, and we do more of the send them directly to the review site so that they can leave that review directly online. Okay, so we talked a little bit about negative reviews. I want to kind of cover that a little bit as well, because this just came up with a potential new client of ours. They really had it was a worker actually that they had to let go, and they went on several different review sites and just bashed him and put negative stuff all over the place. So, the point here is no matter what, or no matter how great your practice is, somehow, some way, there's probably going to be some negative feedback coming around as well. That's not the end of the world. I mean, if you look us up, KickStart Dental Marketing, you're going to find a bad review on Google. And that's from that same exact experience. We were hiring for, I believe it was a web developer or something, and we decided to hire somebody, and the person that was in the running didn't get the job and took it out on us by actually putting a negative review on Google for us. So, it's just going to happen. So, I would, like I talked about, I think that I would engage positively to negative reviews, if that makes sense. I mean, the first thing, you start by responding right away. This shows the person you're paying attention. Any response is better than no response. A fast response is best, right? Apologize first of all, make sure it's actually your patient if you can, right? If you think that they've gotten your name wrong and they're looking for another practice, then, certainly respond that way. Apologize for the experience if it is a real review, even though you may not be apologetic in the situation. You're validating their feelings, you're making them feel heard, right? And the people that are looking at these reviews are seeing that as well. Like I said, offer a resolution. Tell them how you can correct the situation, whether it's to have them come in for free or whatever it may be. Do whatever you can to resolve that, because number one, you could get them back in, resolve the relationship, you don't lose a patient, and you can also probably get them to take that bad review down, right? Ask them to give you another chance. I know it sounds desperate and not everybody will be comfortable with that, but it shows that you care about their experience and ultimately every patient experience that happens in your practice. And lastly, use that negative feedback to correct. Look for, if you get 2 or 3 bad reviews over a year, is it consistently the same thing? Is it the front desk? Is it they were hung up on? Is it they were put on hold too long? If there's something consistent there, then we need to probably change something in the practice business-wise, right? So anyway, I'm gonna stop here. I could go on this for probably an hour or so, but I think it just, to answer the question I originally gave up, online reviews for dental practices absolutely do matter. I've got studies to show it. I've got actual real marketing results to show it. You do need to pay attention to it. You do need to make it a priority in your practice. remember, it's not the technology. It's not Dentrix sending them out for you. It's not, Demand Force sending them out for you, whatever it may be. It's how you put those together, and what you say and how you ask and when you send them is the real connection here. And that's how you'll drive more good reviews. So anyway, of course, my company, KickStart Dental Marketing, shameless plug, one of our specialties is this, in helping with online reviews, getting more of them, putting systems in place, and writing the content just the way I just talked about. So if you do need some help with that, feel free to reach out. Best way is just go to the website, kickstartdental.com, and click on the free strategy session button. I do all of those myself, so you'd be talking with me directly, and we can talk about how you do reviews now or any other marketing, and maybe put you on track to make everything better. So anyway, thanks so much for tuning in for another episode, and hopefully you got a lot out of it, and we'll be back next week with another great topic.